Dime tu verdad, nadie que estás pasando, tú no sabes cómo estoy sufriendo, esto te lo tengo que decir. Cuéntame, tu despedida para mí fue dura, será que te llevo a la luna, y yo no supe hacerlo así. Te estaba buscando, por la calle gritando, esto me está matando, oh no. Te estaba buscando, por la calle gritando.
Guys, the tax is tomorrow, and I still cannot wrap my head around this. Please, can someone just explain to me what tax audit is?
Relax, man. A tax audit is essentially a review of a taxpayer's financial record by the tax authority to ensure compliance with tax laws and regulations. It's like a financial health checkup for your business or personal finance. There are two main types of tax audit. Firstly, desk audit and field audit. Desk audit happen at the tax authority office, while the field audit can take place at the taxpayer premise or another agreed upon location. The objective of tax audit is to encourage voluntary compliance with tax laws and regulations, ensuring that the correct amount of income is reported and taxes are paid accordingly. It is also an opportunity for the tax authority to educate taxpayers about their rights and responsibilities. Tax audit typically cover a period of up 3 years of assessment, but this may be extended to 5 years based on audit findings. However, cases involving fraud or negligence may not be subjected to these time limitations. Tax audit cases are selected based on risk assessment criteria and information received from various sources, including third parties, specific industries, and geographic locations. So, you need to know, tax auditor play a crucial role in maintaining tax compliance and ensuring fairness in the tax system. By understanding how tax audit works, taxpayers can better navigate their obligation and contribute to a healthy tax environment. So, how tax audit is carried out?
Okay, so based on what I know, there's actually 6 audit process, but I only have notes for 2 of them, which is audit venue and commencement. As for audit venue, there's actually 2 of them, which is desk audit and field audit. So for desk audit, it is conducted at the IRBM office, and for field audit, it is conducted at the taxpayer business premises. An easier way to say this is for desk audit, we will go to them, and as for field audit, they will come to us. And let's say if the business premises are unsuitable, the taxpayer can actually propose an alternative location for the IRBM to approve. So the commencement, so for the desk audit, the IRBM will request documents, usually go through email, and the taxpayer need to respond within 14 days. And let's say if they don't get any response from them, then the audit actions will proceed using appropriate methods. And let's say for some cases, they'll just send the taxpayer a notice of assessment directly, showing any tax changes without requesting for any documents. This is usually they conduct based on already existing data. So that is for desk audit. And for field audit, the taxpayer will receive notification letter 14 days before a visit, followed by a confirmation letter, which usually goes through a phone call. And afterwards, the taxpayer can actually request to postpone this with valid reasons. So the 5 details that we need to look for in the notification letter is usually the date of visits, the records required, the year of assessments, the auditor officer's name, and the expected duration for the whole audit. So the audit may be extended to include related companies and businesses without prior notice. This is usually so they can get a comprehensive view of their financial activities and ensuring that compliance across all related companies.
The two procedures are the visit. An audit visit is only applicable to the field audit activity. Normally start off with an interview. So what's the purpose of the interview? To enable audit officers to meet the taxpayer, inform on the rights of the audit officer during the audit, obtain an overview of the taxpayer business activity, and to discuss the audit. So what is the audit time frame? The duration usually takes on about 1 to 3 days. Audit duration may extend due to business size and complexity, record-keeping methods, level of cooperation from the taxpayer. Then, the fourth procedures are the examination of records. Audit officers can examine all business records, inspect stocks and equipment. Records from previous years can also be examined. There are two types of record examined. The first one is business record. Business record is record relating to the business. For example, book of account, invoice, vouchers, and receipts. The second one is non-business records. It is not related to business record. For example, personal bank account, property purchase record, personal expense, and other statements as may required under Section 79 of the ITA. In some cases, audit officer may need to look at the non-business record, not just business record. These officers won't take any record with them, but might make copies if needed. If records are digital, they can access the system and save the necessary data onto the storage device like USB drive or external hard drive. So keeping of business record, according to Section 82 and 82A of the ITA, every business must keep sufficient record to clearly determine income or loss. And according to Section 82, Subsection 1 and Subsection A, records must be kept for 7 years from the end of the year they related to.
Not to forget that last two audit process, which is audit frame and the settlement of audit. For audit time frame, on-site examination usually takes 1 to 3 days. However, the field audit may take longer based on business size and transaction complexity, how records are kept, and level of cooperation from the taxpayer. The time frame applies only to field audits. For the tax settlement of audit, if tax adjustments are needed, the taxpayer will receive a notification with details and reason. The taxpayer can respond with their views and explanations. The taxpayer has 18 days to file an objection if they disagree by providing additional information and evidence. If no objection is made within 18 days, the adjustments are considered accepted. A notice of additional assessment with penalties or a non-chargeability notification will be issued as needed. If no adjustments are made, a letter will confirm the audit is finalized without changes. The audit should be complete within 90 days, and if it takes longer, the IRBM will update the taxpayer. Once settled, the same issues won't be audited again for that year, and unless the new issues or information arise.
So, do you guys know the rights and responsibility of the tax audit?
Let me explain. First of all, audit officer must uphold IRBM rules and ethics, displaying professionalism, trustworthiness, and integrity while explaining audit objectives and taxpayer rights. They must also possess fair knowledge in administrating tax law. Each officer is issued an authority card for identification, which taxpayer should verify, and they can consult IRBM branch director if authenticity doubt arise. Secondly, taxpayers are expected to be cooperative, polite, fair, and honest, providing necessary facilities and assistance to audit officers. This includes granting access to business premises, offering information, and explaining business and accounting system. They should provide comprehensive response to queries, seeking clarification if needed, even on personal matters if relevant to their business structure. Next, taxpayers have the right to request their tax agent presence during interview and can bring an interpreter if language is a barrier. When appointing a new tax agent for audit cases, taxpayer must submit a copy of the appointment letter. Tax agent must abide by RIBM codes of ethics, focusing on integrity, accountability, transparency, and social responsibility.
Last but not least, for confidentiality of information, IRBM ensure of taxpayer information obtained during interviews, discussions, or record examinations, utilizing it solely for tax purposes.
Is there any offences that can cause penalties in tax audit?
Well, from my notes, there are 3 offences that always happen in tax audit. These offences, when committed, will cause the perpetrator to be punished either in the form of paying fine, imprisonment, or both. Okay, let me start with the understatement of tax. What is an understatement of tax? Well, when a person was discovered to understated his income to the IRB, the tax charged to him will also be understated. Thus, the penalty will be imposed under subsection 113 subsection 2 or 124 subsection 3 of the ITA. From the enforcement, the penalty rate will be equal to the amount of tax undercharged. However, the Director General of Inland Revenue may consider a lower penalty of 45% on tax that has been undercharged. And the second one is when the when the taxpayer did not providing reasonable facilities and assistance. Under Section 80 and 18 subsection 1A, the taxpayer is obliged to provide reasonable facilities and assistance to the IRBM personnel when they are carrying when they are carrying tax audit. Failure to do so will cause them to be fined of 1,000 ringgit to 20,000 ringgit, imprisonment for up to 1 year, or both. And the last one is when the taxpayer did not keep any records. Like according to section 82, subsection 1, subsection A, every taxpayer carrying on a business shall keep and retain the records for as long as 7 years from the end of the year. Failure to do so will cause the perpetrator to be fined from 300 ringgit to 10,000 ringgit, imprisonment for up to 1 year, or both. I think we can score in our exam. Let's go study.